inspiration, innovation, desperation, and frustration, the harmful changes of modern business practices.
The truth of the matter is that I love this group and all of the people in it. The reality is, you all suck. As customers. I mean, the real reality is that seems how we're being treated as consumers today. That many businesses have lost sight of what's important in the business environment. Now, let me give you an example. When we go to the movies today, it's a trying effort to go to the movies. It's not enjoyable as it used to be. First of all, parking is really hard to deal with. Second of all, the prices. Oh my God. Nowadays, a ticket is about $12.50. Sometimes it's more if you go to a 3D or you go to one of the high-def movies. Some areas they'll charge up to $15. Now, besides that, you have popcorn, which is, I'll round it out to about $6. You have a drink, which is probably another $5. I'm going to say that everyone's a good eater here, so no one's having candy today. But basically, at the end of your trip, you have spent about $23 on average per person. Now, that's not even the bad news. Your experience as a customer is really about how you will enjoy the whole thing or not. So for example, the next thing we do, after we've punched our little validation card in that machine so we can go to another machine to get out of the movie theater in the parking lot, we have to stand in these enormously long lines in the theater where there's 2 people in the front to help you out. And they're usually high school or college kids who aren't in a hurry because they have an 8-hour shift. So they're not concerned about moving you along so you can be there for your favorite part of the show, the previews. So now your experience is a little befuddled. Plus the amount you spend, if you're 2 people, that's $46. If you have kids, you could spend $100 or more. Now, in addition to that, we do other consumer things. We buy electronics, we buy computers, we buy phones. And sometimes we need to be able to use those devices. Sometimes there's setup that's necessary. So you have to call a service place to get a little help. Well, what happens? 9 out of 10 times we have to go through the automated cycle. So you call up, press number 1 for sales, number 2 for billing, number 3 for technical support. I'll press 3. Beep. Do you want it for internet setup, your device, or whatever? Internet setup, beep. Do you want it for a PC or a Mac? Mac, beep. Do you want it for a laptop or a desktop? And you go on and on and on. And by the time you finally get through, I don't know about you, but I have always wondered if I would have gotten the same guy, Bob in India, whether I had pressed 1 button, 8 buttons, or 2 buttons. And it's very frustrating and very exasperating. Now, when we go to places like coffee shops, and there's a counter, and there's a long line of people, we're no longer treated like human beings. It's an automated system. The person behind the counter becomes robotic. What can I get you? And then you do your order with them. You might say hello, and they'll say, hi, what can I get you? They'll be robotic again. And then you exchange your money or your credit card or your gift card. The moment they hand it back to you, you're forgotten about. They've gone on to the next person. Next guest? Now, I don't know why we're guests. I don't know how many people have been invited to their local coffee shop or their bank or their restaurant, because I don't get food out of it. Usually when I'm someone's guest, I get food and drinks. That doesn't happen here, so I don't know why they're calling me a guest. Doesn't make sense. Banks, they're more concerned with the bottom dollar than servicing you. As a matter of fact, some banks nowadays are penalizing us for going to the teller too many times within a month's period. you actually get charged. They prefer you go to the ATM. Now, while it's true that there are some conveniences, like cashing your check and depositing it on your phone, that's a convenience. But then when we have a discrepancy on our account, when there's a balance inaccuracy, to get someone to respond to you as a customer, to make you feel important, like they value your business there, you're going to go through some arguments and you'll be hard-pressed to walk away with a feeling that you count as a consumer. Fast food places, they're just cutting it on all levels. Has anyone bought a bag of potato chips recently? Okay, we all have at some point. Well, basically in the last 4 years, the quantities have gone down. You have less percent product in a lot of packaging than you did 4 years ago. The quality of the products that make that product, the oils, the salts, everything have gone down. Now think about this. If they really want you to buy their product, now you're being charged the same price, by the way, for a lesser amount. But if they wanted you to buy their product, wouldn't they want it the highest quality product? So you're like, not only, oh my God, I have to have this, but you're going to refer your friends to it? I mean, that's what businesses should want. They should want that customer relationship. But in the world of the customer service, you're one thing and one thing only to every business. Your money. Now the difference is, what kind of money are you? And there are two types of money, and one is good, one not so good. So there's the type of money where you're their money, and then once they get the sale from you, they move on. You're forgotten about. Now the other type of money that you are is you're so money to them that they want to give you such value in the way of product, great quality, customer service, customer support, customer response. They want you to have such a good experience that you want to continue to be their money, and you want to refer your friends, other money, to them to do business as well. That's good business. It doesn't always happen because sales have changed. In this economy, businesses have begun to panic, and small businesses have started practicing what a few bigger businesses are doing, which is really not good. They are concentrating more on sales and marketing and less on product quality, and development. And what that's doing to many businesses is a fool me once kind of attitude. You'll buy a product, you may not be so enthusiastic about buying it the next time. Now there's always the exception to the rule. There's a McDonald's, there's a Pepsi, there's a Coke, where it's fast, cheap, and convenient. So they don't really always add into the equation. People do try and mimic those models for certain things, but I think what we're fundamentally missing is that there's no longevity to it. There's nothing that they're building the foundation of a relationship to you, the customer, anymore. And it's kind of sad. What's wrong with that? A handful of these businesses that are following the wrong model are eventually going to be hurt. Not now, not 3 years from now, but maybe 5, 10, or 20 years, businesses are really going to suffer. Now, according to Steve Jobs, the theory about why this decline happens with some companies is that they do a great job in the beginning in innovation. They create a really wonderful product. But then they put that product out there and they concentrate on the next logical step, sales. Sales and marketing, because they want to move the dial on their product and sell more. But then they forget about the product quality and development. And they lose sight of what they were doing in the first place. And eventually, the company doesn't have innovations now. It's struggling just to make the next sale. Their meetings are not about how can we create something wonderful that's going to keep our customers loyal. They concentrate more on how many units can we sell this month? How much can we push our marketing to really sell things that I don't even think they're very proud of anymore. And unfortunately, many smaller businesses are following this model. And that's why a lot of them today seem to be in so much trouble. The innovation portion of a business and the customer relationship portion are sorely lacking. So what is the broken model? less quality, less quantity, less service, and less personal service. Shorter hours for the employees, less value for the buck, little or no interaction between the customer and the business. It seems we are automating everything and we've forgotten how to interact with the people who count most. We've forgotten the human element, the element that should count for every business. Now, the reason companies like Apple, Zappos, Ritz-Carlton, In-N-Out Burgers, New Ally Bank, City National Bank, the reason people like that are doing so well is because their innovations are in customer relationships, customer retention, making you feel that they appreciate the service and business that you're providing to them by keeping them solvent. And you, when you have that experience, want to really stay there. You want to be loyal. I mean, I want to be loyal to people who are loyal to me. I don't want to be loyal to someone who just treats me like a number. Now, the first thing that Apple does very well is they entice you. They show you a product you didn't think you needed, that you now want, and you can't live without. That's a feeling. So by owning this product, we'll have a good feeling by using and owning this product. That's something they do very well. Second thing that they do very well, how many people have been in an Apple store? Pretty much all of us. If you're not raising your hand, you're lazy. Basically, there's three things that happen when you walk into an Apple store. There's tons of people to greet you. There's tons of people to help you. And there's tons of people to make you feel like you matter. When you come in the store, they don't call out your number when you need help. They call out your name. And then you're assigned a person that works eye to eye. You guys are in contact with each other. It feels like it's just our world, and there's no one else around. And it feels pretty nice. It feels like they are appreciative of my business and the time that I took to buy their products. What does that also do? That makes me happy to buy an upsell product. Upsell means a more expensive product. Because I'm happy that they are feeling good about my relationship with them. It's important. It makes a dynamic between us. So what should businesses be asking themselves? Well, business should be asking, what are we making or creating? That's in the R&D portion of their business, research and development. What will the cost be to us to make it? What will the cost be to the customer? And will that cost still maintain the quality and value of the product? These are things that they should be asking. Who is our customer and why? That's important because they're going to know how to respond to you as a customer. A car customer is going to be treated different than a customer at Starbucks. But they shouldn't be too concerned with what the customer wants because sometimes the customer doesn't always know what they want. Henry Ford said during the inception of the car that if he asked his customers what they wanted, they would have said, I want a faster horse. Because they weren't used to cars yet. So they didn't always know what they wanted. You should always, as a business, ask your customers, or ask yourself rather, how you can be of more service, how you can provide more benefit, how you can give them a better experience. Because really, what it comes down to is not customer service or customer relations. It comes down to customer experience. That's what we look for and we sorely miss in today's society. So let's go back to, for example, the theater. Now, here's a few things that could improve your experience with the theater. If they made the parking system much easier, if you didn't have to worry about stopping in front of two machines to get your thing validated so you could get out quicker, which you never do because the lines are long to get out anyway. Now, here's another thing. If they lowered the prices, so instead of $12 a ticket, let's say it's now $8 a ticket. Let's say popcorn, let's lower it to $4. Let's say the drink, $3. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, $15. Now, if you also, in addition to this alone isn't going to cut it. What else is going to cut it for a good experience? Well, Let's say instead of 2 people who just don't care behind the counter, they now have 8 people to whip you all through. You're going to feel a better experience because you're not panicked and rushed. You get to enjoy and relax a little more. What this experience does is it makes you so happy that you're more likely to go to the theater twice a month instead of 1 time a month. So now they've actually increased their profit by $5 to $7. My math is terrible. And they are making a better profit by doing one simple thing, improving their relationship with you, making the experience better. There's a story, I don't know the restaurant. There's a restaurant in Pasadena. During the start of the economic decline, this restaurant in Pasadena was struggling like every other restaurant. Customers weren't going as much. Everyone was watching their money. They weren't spending as much, not going out as much. We were all panicked. We didn't know what to do. This was in the beginning of 2009. So this restaurant had one mentality and they never changed it. They would treat every customer like family. They would greet you like, welcome back, thank you for coming. They would make you feel special. All my attention is on you, and I give you the greatest service I can. I introduce you to the other staff. You feel really welcome. The food's good. Oh, by the way, I'm going to just give you this as a chef's special treat tonight, just for you. We made it special. Thank you for coming back. That's one thing he did regularly anyway. But he decided to innovate. He decided to give a little more value. So what he did is he put a series of wine on the bar. And he says, pick any bottle you want, and you serve yourself the wine. And you tell me how many glasses you had, and I'll charge you for that. And his friends are like, you're ridiculous. People are going to tell you they had 2 glasses when they had 4. They're going to tell you they had 4 glasses when they had 6 or 8. And he smiled and said, yeah, but look at the line waiting to get in. And they're not just drinking, they're eating too. So he did something to add value. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Because actually, I'm working on a new book. I'm working on a book, strangely enough, entitled Customers Suck. And what this book is about is it's about the businesses who do it right and do it well. And we're identifying also the businesses who don't do it so right. But I'm doing a little added thing. I'm adding the customer into the value. Because I think that our messages are lost a lot of time. We're not heard when we have a good experience, and we're not heard when we have a bad experience. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to invite everyone, by passing this around tonight for your name and email, if you choose to, I'd like to include you in this process. Now there's a thing out there called Angie's List that you might have heard. And Angie's List basically set up this system where if you're hiring a plumber, a mechanic, a carpenter, an electrician, you can go to Angie's List and find out how reputable the person was and how the experience of other consumers was with that person before you hire them or use them as a referral. I'm going to do the same type of thing for the book, and I'm going to allow you to share your experiences on a blog. You can be anonymous if you want. But it's basically going to give us an opportunity to really identify what's working and what's not. And hopefully, the big businesses will keep doing what they do well, and the other businesses who aren't will want to change for the better. Yes,